All right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the video and article that I do for comicbookinvest.com, where I talk about those books that are still probably tucked away in those cheap boxes, those discount bins, those dollar boxes, based off of some of the recent news, rumors, announcements, things going on in the comics, and just generally anything I find mildly interesting that ties into comics that I think you can find in those cheap bins. That's what I'm going to show you and bring up on this show. Kind of like a little scavenger hunt kind of thing to give you something fun to hunt when you're out there digging in those boxes this upcoming weekend. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so you don't miss any of the content as it drops basically every day. And if you want to see what books I got for you this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro and I will be right back. Okay, so starting us off with our first story, we have this little tidbit about it's basically a material that was created in the X side of the Marvel universe. But one of the great X-Men's greatest inventions is this new material that is kind of like is more versatile than adamantium, and it's spawned basically a galactic war. And this is going on in Guardians of the Galaxy issue 2, which came out, I believe, last week. But the material we're talking about here is this Mysterium. Again, it was created only a couple of years ago, back in the that Sword series, SWORD, with Abigail Brand. And again, it's a material that's created on the X side of things that's now spawning a galactic war that everybody in the Marvel Cosmic Universe is kind of having to deal with right now in the current Guardians run. I know it's not a character first appearance, but it is still kind of interesting. And if you want a little bit more background on this story as you're reading books, you want to know a little bit more about where this stuff comes from, like I said, you could pick it up in Sword issue 1, which came out in 2021, I believe. It only ran for like 11 issues, didn't even get to 12, but fun little read, fun little run. I mean, it's pretty solid art too. Multiple variants on this book as well. Here's the cover A. I'll show you some of the other covers here. Granted, the one in the middle, I believe, is a 1 in 25 by Jen Bartel. But there's a Dodson there, and I forget who did the other one. But still, solid covers across all of these. And even that 1 in 25, you think is expensive. You can find that thing for like $5 even online. So not a pricey series. Again, this is not something that's going to make you rich if you find this book. It's just kind of fun thing to read and let you enjoy comic books. But inside it, like I said, this is where they discover this Mysterium material, basically. And you can see Magneto there and Abigail Brand. It's, this is a game changer for them. So it was a big deal then. Now it's coming to roost in the current Guardians run. So go and check it out. Granted, this book doesn't sell for a lot online. You can see here's a sale for like $5. That's why you can probably find it in those cheap boxes out near you. So go ahead, grab it for fun. See what you can find. Here's a couple of the other examples of the other variants. Look, $1.99 up to $9. Oh, Lupacino. So Emmanuel Lupacino did that other one. Again, quality covers across all of them. So solid art across the board on all those issue 1. So keep an eye out for them. That said, there's our first little story. This might be a quick week, not a lot going on, and I know there was a lot of delays with some people getting their books at a diamond for their Marvel stuff because of that accident. We talked about it a couple weeks ago in the news, and now we're seeing the end result of some of these delays. So I know, hang in there. There's online resources too. You can subscribe to your online comic books solutions if you want to read them there, but otherwise, you just got to be patient or check out some other places, I guess. Or just wait for your shop to get their books in. But with that all said, next up in the news, Marvel is going to be bringing us back ROM in the form of omnibus and a facsimile reprint. Does this mean they got the ROM license back? I don't know. Because ROM was over at IDW with all the other Hasbro stuff from G.I. Joe to Transformers. Still don't know where those landed. So I don't know if Marvel's bringing this back under the umbrella and we might eventually get new ROM stories. Who knows? One can hope, I guess, right? But ROM Space Knight is coming back to Marvel with at least the omnibus and a facsimile reprint. With that, you can still probably go and look and dig for that regular #1. There was a time you could find tons of these. Then it got a little hot, a little bit of interest because there was all the rumors of the huge Hasbro verse crossover movies are going to give us Rom and Mask and G.I. Joe and Transformers, all of them together in some huge epic thing. Well, we never actually got all that, but one can still hope that maybe one day it'll happen. That said, issue one of ROM, plenty of these out there. They printed a lot of them, but prices can be all over the place. Not to say it's going to be the easiest find, but something to keep an eye out for. You can see here how issue one can sell for around like $17 to $25. Asking prices depending on condition, you can look at it for as cheap as $6 and see a lot of $20 copies as well. There will also be much more expensive copies for higher grade, but that's just kind of ballpark figures just to give you a sense of what you're looking at here. But it's not all just about issue one. This series ran for 75 issues. Take a look out for that final issue. That'll get you a few bucks. And then there's some crossovers across. There's Doctor Strange pops up in, issue 41. You had the X-Men showing up in issue 17, I think 18. And then somewhere in like the 30s, I think it's like 33, 34, somewhere in there. Rogue also has her early appearances, also in this ROM title. So there are some other books of interest throughout this run that you can go dig for when you're digging, for comics, in case you come across some ROM books. Just ballpark examples here, just again, give you some sense. You can see there the Rogue issues 31 and 32. So second and third appearance of Rogue is how some people are, promoting it because it's following, that Avengers annual. That's only $28 for the pair. And then we got that X-Men crossover, $16 for issue 17. So you want to keep an eye out for that too. And like I said, $10 for that final issue ain't too bad either. It used to be much more, but it seems to have come down in recent years. Maybe they found some overstock boxes, some back stock of ROM 75. Because I remember when this used to be like a $25, $30 book. And I remember digging through dollar bins and finding it and going, ooh, I found something cool. That said, asking prices on some of these books too, you can see again, like the X-Men crossover issues, $5 to $15, depending on condition. And then you got that Rogue early appearance on issue 31. It's like $20. Yeah, it all depends. Again, condition sensitive, but doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to go and dig. And like I said, you can find some of this stuff still out there. Like not everybody is up on their ROM books. So maybe you find these in a back issue bin or like I said, in dollar bin somewhere at a half price books, wherever you're doing your digging, yard sales, flea markets, maybe you find some pretty cool ROM issues that are worth a couple dollars. Yeah, who knows? That's it. Following up on that, we got some more news this week that I'm surprised to hear that we are getting a second season of Wheel of Time. First season was okay. Well, not great. I enjoyed Rings of Power a bit better. This is over on Amazon, but it was entertaining. I was surprised that they kind of, I don't know, but we are getting a second season. We are getting a second season, and this reminds me of comic books related to Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. I mean, it's a popular fantasy series of novels and books, but there were some comics as well. I think the first run of the comics is this New Spring series that I think started at Red Eagle and ended up at Dynamite, or if Red Eagle is an imprint of Dynamite. I'm not entirely sure as far as the publishing history of things go, but this New Spring title here, it ran for 8 issues. So there's issue 1 in the middle, random examples, issue 4, and the final issue 8. Just to give you a sense of what you're looking for. You can see, like I said, at least finished up with Dynamite. These books, are priced oddly. I'll say it that way. Because look, the only sale I could find had $100 for the entire run. 8 issues. It's saying all first print, first editions, $100. It's a solid sale there. There's another listing for it as well out there too. You can see there up at the top. But apart from that, you can see issue 1 listing for $20. Some random issues there in the middle. Issue 1 and 3 looking for $15, and then issue 7 looking for $7. So pricing is kind of all over the place. It could be anywhere from like $5 to $25 an issue, really. So take that for what it's worth. But just kind of a fun thing to go and dig. Maybe a good thing that you can read if you're interested in this Wheel of Time series before, season 2 comes rolling around. Because I hear they're going to be introducing some new characters. I'm not entirely sure which book they're adapting exactly or where we are, as far as the comics go. But hey, it doesn't hurt to go dig for some of these comics, especially for ones that actually do sell for a bit of a premium that you might not have been aware of, like some of these Wheel of Time books. Because it's not just this series, but following up this series, New Spring, we did get a second run, which actually ran like 35-ish issues, 36 maybe, 34 to 36, somewhere in that range. But Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, The Eye of the World, that series, some of these can get pricey. And I wasn't aware of that until doing some research and doing some digging. This is issue 1. It's actually the same cover as like a preview issue, issue 0. So keep an eye out for that too. But here's issue 1. Other issues throughout this series, we got a pretty cool covered issue 16 there, and 35. There it is. 35 was the final issue. I want to make sure I always put the last issue in there too, so we know the end. So beginning and the end. 35 issues in this run, and the prices on these, they can go all over as well. Showing here, we got issues 32, no, 30, 32, and 35. So 3 issues sold for $60. So the late run, 3 issues, $60. We've got random issue in there in the middle, sold for only $250. So we got high end, we got low end, and then we got the whole run of all 35 issues sold for only $72 with one bid. Okay, so that's recent sales. What about the asks? Well, the asking prices on this, again, are kind of all over. Issue 1 might run you $50. Meanwhile, issue 33 could be as high as $36. And you might be able to score like an issue 26 or other random issues for only $5. And then yet again, you might be able to get a whole run for $600. I don't know. Prices, like I said, they're all over, but just take a look out there. Who knows what you're going to randomly find when you go digging in those boxes? Maybe this is something you weren't aware of, you weren't looking for before. Now it's something interesting you can keep an eye out for. Wheel of Time. That said, let's go on over to the Buffy verse. So Buffy has a current comic series, but it's just the Vampire Slayer now. It's not actually Buffy, I guess. But in that series, the Vampire Slayer, one of her villains is back. Old school villain Drusilla, who you might remember from, Spike's girlfriend from way back in those shows. I don't know if you watched those back in the 90s. I did. It was a pretty fun series. Granted, I didn't watch it when it was originally on. I watched it a little bit later, but I did watch all of Buffy, and I did watch all of Angel, and I enjoyed it. That said, pretty cool that she's back again, because I think she was recently killed or something in the comics, but Drusilla is back again, and if you want her first, well, you can go get it in the Spike and Drew special from Dark Horse from back in the day there. So Spike and Drew right there, it's photo cover. You can go and find it. There's her first, in comic form at least, because, she was on the TV show first, but it's like $7 to $15. It's not super duper expensive, but it's a fun thing for you to go and dig and hunt. Because sometimes you find these old Angel and Buffy books, at least I do, and you don't know what you're always looking at, but now you know at least what this one is. Her first appearance, at least. That said, asking prices, $6 to $15 again. So still in that same kind of range. It's not going to make you rich, but it's kind of a fun little thing for you to go and dig out of a box. Speaking of fun little things to go and dig out of a box, our last segment is based off of not even really a news article that was over on CBR, Comic Book Resources, but just something I found kind of interesting. They were just pointing out how Rocket's got nothing on this other ridiculous group of animal commandos, and we're talking about Brute Force. And I think we talked about Brute Force before on Dollar Bin Digging, but heck, I want to do it again because they're just fun. They look like battle beasts. Like, as far as the characters go, they got their armor and all that stuff. But Brute Force, 4-issue mini, back at Marvel from in the 90s, Protectors of the Environment. Here's the first issue right there, front and center. And then here are the other 3. So issue 2, 3, and 4. That issue 4 kind of looks like an X-Men 100 homage there with the 2 teams running at each other. I mean, granted, that's a popular image to use, but it always makes me think of that X-Men book. Professor X in the middle going, hey. Granted, there's no Professor X in the middle here, so it's not exactly an homage, but it just made me think of it. That said, Brute Force, what can this run you? Well, not too much. I mean, you're looking at, you can get issues for $1, even online randomly, or you can get the run, individual issues for like $5, and then the whole 4-issue run for like $20. Not terrible when you look as far as recent sales go. Asking prices, the whole 4-issue run, people are looking for about $30, and then random issues maybe about like I said, $5 to $8. So again, they're not super duper expensive, but if you find them, it could be a fun little treasure for you to go and dig out, hidden gem, if you will. But I know that's not this series. We're doing Dollar Bin Digging, but still, the idea maintains the same. You're looking for a cheap book. It's kind of fun to read, maybe worth a couple bucks more than you thought or than you paid. I don't know. That said, this isn't all. So those are the 4 issues for that mini, but we have seen Brute Force pop up a couple times since then. Not used often, but here are a couple other appearances of Brute Force in later years that you might be able to dig out of a box too. Starting off with this Deadpool biannual. This, probably like 5, 7 years ago. This is a David Nakayama cover. So I think I've talked about this one before because I do like Nakayama. I do like this cover. Brute Force is kind of fun. This is a fun little thing to go and dig. And it's not all that expensive, even online. At one time, this was like a $15 book. Now, copies are sold for $1 and $3 recently. So pretty darn cheap. Asking prices also only like $3-4. So they're only looking for around cover price. If that. Yeah, $3.99 was the cover. So yeah, they're looking only around cover price, maybe even a little bit less. But like I said, at one time, this was a little pricey. I don't know. Maybe there was some Brute Force news. I can't remember. They were going to do something with them. I don't know. But at one time, this was like $15. Now it's cover price. But doesn't hurt to go and dig it out. And again, like I said, it's fun. You got Deadpool. You got Animal Protectors. Why not? It's going to be a good read. Next up, and finally for our run here, I know it's a little bit of a short show today, but I got a lot of other things I got to catch up on. Sorry, putting out content every day is tough. Our last one, Weapon Plus World War IV. This is a pretty cool cover. This was the Shadow Colonel, I believe, but you can see right down there at the bottom, Activate Project Brute Force. So little side story inside of this where you can go and get your Brute Force fix. So keep an eye out for this Weapon Plus book. There's 2 covers. I think I was cover A, and I think this was the cover B. Or maybe, yeah, because that's variant comic. So this is the cover B. So keep an eye out for either. Once again, not an expensive book at all. Recent sales, $2 to $5. So you're looking cover price and less. Asking prices, again, buy it now for 99 cents. $4, $5. So it's, like I said, cover price and less. Cheap stuff, fun stuff for you to go and dig. And like I said, if you're just kind of curious and you want to go check out, read some of the stuff, this is the way to do it. It's to do it with the cheap boxes, the discount bins. So you're not putting a lot of money out there, low risk, and you can just try stuff out, see if you like it, see if it's fun, see if it's something you want to collect. Make the hobby fun. That's the whole idea behind this, at least why I'm doing this series still, because this is episode 241. 241 I've done of these. That's a lot. It's a lot. Granted, I haven't done videos for all of them. I've only been doing videos since like episode 60 something or other. But still a lot. Still a couple of years doing this. And like I said, it's just fun. It's just an appreciation for the hobby. Hopefully you're still enjoying it. Hopefully you find this helpful. Hopefully you find it fun. And hopefully I showed you a couple of books you didn't know about that you can now go and keep an eye out for. And like I said, don't go I'm not trying to make FOMO. I'm not trying to make you go spend money online and pay these online prices. I'm saying, hey, look, when you're digging, just keep these in mind. Expand your mental Rolodex with some books to, so this way when you find them and you see them, hopefully you know what you're looking at based off of some of the random nonsense that I keep spewing out, at least from some of these shows that I do here. So with that all said, thanks again for the support. I appreciate you all. More content will be coming your way as per usual. Again, every day. We got live shows on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I got recorded stuff on those other days, and even with some extra recorded stuff sneaking in here and there with some double dips on days, and a little 1-minute cover, spotlight every day here at noon as well. So still having a hell of a fun time doing this stuff. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And with that all said, yeah, under 20 minutes. I'll see you guys later, all right?